Okay, so I want to be part of the Toshiro defense force in this video. Now, the whole video itself is basically going to be comparing Ichigo and Toshiro, giving both of the rate-up units their flowers. I don't think Ichigo is overvalued. I just think Toshiro in this current state is undervalued. So let's talk about Ichigo and why he's really good, and then we're going to hone in on Toshiro. So check timestamps to see what you want to see. But we do use Toshiro in Frenzy Feast, and I just want to say, I do think Frenzy Feast and Co-op Campaign are going to be Toshiro's main strong points, whereas someone like Ichigo is mainly going to be used, or more so, going to have his extreme value shown in Tower. So Ichigo's strong point really revolves around his special attack. That special attack is just way too strong and works very well with his team. So we have both Kisuke, right, who is a godly unit, and also Byakuya that both work for Ichigo. Byakuya honestly is a really fun unit on the red team. Because of this skill, he's very much able to kind of just mesh very well with Kisuke and also Ichigo, where Kisuke alongside his special attack is able to spam it and activate Byakuya's skills very quickly, and then of course giving this insane amount of crit damage, which for me, I'm literally giving the whole team, I think, like 80 or 90% crit damage. So imagine for Ichigo, who I think my Ichigo is pretty much 100% crit rate when you count dupes and all that. Like, imagine how much, like, support Kisuke is really offering Ichigo. It's great, right? So these three work very well together. And Ichigo himself was such a good pusher for Tower, right? So like when we really look at Tower, I didn't even finish it because to be honest, I just stopped doing Tower at some point. I could probably finish Tower very easily now, but you know, Ichigo was a very good pusher and honestly just such a strong unit DPS wise to really finish Tower and do all that good stuff. Ichigo was amazing. Even off color, I do think Ichigo shines pretty brightly, but moving forward, I think we could all agree it's going to be pretty difficult for Ichigo to really excel off color. Imagine like Tower 16 has a 90% damage reduction. I just don't see Ichigo being able to really go crazy off color, but early game for sure Ichigo has that, right? Now, the thing is, it gets a bit more muddy when you look at other game modes like ranking game modes. Because, for example, Co-op Campaign, I don't know if the rankings are still there. They're not. But the thing is with Co-op Campaign is you're usually, obviously, like the rankings, it's like, oh my god, Ichigo's #1. Well, yes, he was A6, right? So it's very hard to really hone in on rankings and do a like one-to-one comparison because, well, I think I got like 30 million with Toshiro. Definitely more was possible. But I'm like, damn, Ichigo beat me out. And it's like, oh, of course he did. His Ichigo was A6. So when you keep these things in mind, right, it gets a bit more difficult to really go one-to-one comparisons, but there is something I do want to hone in on. And before getting into Toshiro, I really just want to talk about, like, his damage is insane, right? Like, it's going to be so nice, by the way. Gin has very similar multipliers to Ichigo. That guy's going to be insane, I'm telling you guys. But Ichigo himself is, like, a super strong unit, and his multipliers are crazy, right? Like, 700% on this in one tap, and then his basic attack, right, doing 350%, and then when you include the weapon, another 100%. Like, it's insane, especially because he's able to swap in and out every single time with the units, and his supports, it's great. But now let's get into the Toshiro aspect of the video. I love Ichigo. I think he is still the most fun I've had in this game because the quick swaps is so fun. But Toshiro is about to go crazy, right? So Toshiro right now, let's just go into Co-op Campaign real quick. For both Co-op Campaign and then also especially Frenzy Feast versus Mayuri especially, and also it would have been nice if we had Toshiro versus Yami, but when we do, I'll make a separate video for that. But for both Mayuri and also for Ashijogi Jizo, is that his name? Ashisogi Jizo. Ashisogi Jizo. I'm going to be on this, I don't know how to say it. Anyway, the baby, right? Toshiro is able to kind of stop some certain things from happening, but this is very prevalent, especially versus Mayuri with Nemu, which you're going to see later in this video. I'm going to do a showcase of Toshiro versus Nemu. Now, or Toshiro versus Mayuri blocking Nemu off. So one of the main things is that Ichigo will just outright do worse than Toshiro in this. Now, we could definitely say outright, okay, I'm just going to say it. Ichigo does outright more damage than Toshiro. Is it a big gap? I don't think so. But is it a gap that does exist? Yes. However, we need to keep in mind Toshiro's freeze. So he has freeze points for everything, which lets him freeze pretty frequently, especially next to Rukia. So this is the first point. We got freeze. With freeze, Toshiro is able to skip phases that otherwise would waste time. So while Toshiro could do less damage, If he skips the phases and you save 20 seconds, you're technically going to be doing more DPS per second, right? Or it's going to increase your DPS per second and get you close to Ichigo. So that's kind of what I want to bring up, is this freeze aspect, which I'm going to show in this video, saves time, is not something that Ichigo can make use of, because unless you're able to just one-tap Mayuri in the highest phase, which you would need dupes for, a lot of dupes, right? Then you're wasting time on Ichigo's team where Toshiro doesn't need to, right? There's these certain things that they both have their strengths, which makes them both good units, which I think people just don't want to acknowledge that Toshiro is good. Now, another reason why people wouldn't acknowledge why Toshiro is good is a valid reason. They don't have the core stamp. A lot of people that I'm seeing shit on Toshiro don't have his core stamp. Guys, A1, this is a 60%, like just what, like no dupes, it's a 60% crit damage buff and a 25% basic damage buff. Like that is some major buffs that you want, especially because of the stats also. I just like, oh, was I on window mode? No, I guess not. Anyway, having Toshiro be there with his core stamp is just so much different than without, especially because this gives crit rate. You want to make use, which by the way, bro, my Toshiro is stacked. I've gotten this 3 times, or I pulled it from the thing twice, but I've got it 3 times because I spent. Bro, this is giving 120% crit damage. Like, I think Toshiro with dupes, especially on the core stamp, is going to be so crazy. Like, the next one is giving another 24% crit damage. Like, this shit's insane. So, Toshiro is ridiculous because of the fact that he freezes and it skips phases. His damage, while being a little worse, also, while this damage is lower, you also have to keep in mind he gets a permanent 20%. Oh no, 35% damage boost if you use it quick enough. But the main thing that I really want to hone in on also is that we have to give Toshiro some leeway because of the fact we're using Rukia at the moment. Why is this important? Well, Aizen exists. And Aizen should come out January 2nd. While that is a ways away, we have to keep in mind Toshiro has that value long term to where right now he has the freezing team. But then with Aizen, I think we could all agree that team is going to easily out DPS Slash by a good margin. Now, there's also something else to consider. Rukia is only giving 15%, right? Where SSRs give 30%. So Toshiro's missing that constant 15%, which definitely affects him. But what if Aizen does even more support than Rukia? Right, so then Toshiro is going to be looking even better. And then we go a step further. Aizen is probably going to increase the Spirit Team's damage by a large margin. Right, I see Aizen easily out DPSing Byakuya. I think that is definitely what's going to happen. And because of that, in the end, even if Toshiro is a bit less damage heavy than Bankai Ichigo, the outcome is Toshiro is going to make it that Aizen and Toshiro together are going to be the best team. So I think that Toshiro having this utility with the freeze points really saves him even if his damage is a bit lower. Right? They're both very strong units, and the Spirit Team having Rukia and Toshiro both freezing is just so strong, right? And then with Aizen, of course, I have no doubt, not only is the Spirit Team going to be the best, I think people are going to like undoubtedly see Toshiro probably in S tier. Unless Aizen's just the main DPS, maybe Toshiro's going to go down. But Aizen, it seems to be tactic. And with that in mind, I think Toshiro is going to be very, very good. So now I kind of just wanted to show well, Toshiro in co-op campaign. So that's what we're going to do. And then I'll touch base afterwards. Okay, so we're going to check this out. And, you know, putting the counter, you're going to see the freeze points slowly start to go up. But already, I'm going to put the volume down a bit. Already, we're able to kind of get shit going. With Momo, it's going to be a bit more difficult. But it's going to still work out for the most part. We're just going to get one more Tensio Journ, and then afterwards we'll be good to probably get close to the ultimate. But you're going to see it's going to start freezing pretty permanently, right? So we got a freeze there. We got another freeze. I probably could have waited on that one, to be honest. We're going to go with Momo now. I just want to make sure everyone understands Nemu coming in, right? So we should activate that. Oh my god, Rukia, come on. Okay. We're going to activate Tensio Jiren, go into Rukia, and then afterwards go back into Toshiro. But this is kind of what I mean, right? There's so much freezing that you're not. It's going to be hard for Mayuri to get to the next phase, right? Which is with Nemu, because literally, like, how does he do it, right? At this point, like, how does he do it? He's just perma-frozen, right? So it's like now he's frozen again for another 4 seconds. Oh my. And then we're going to put freeze points on him, right? So this is kind of how it works, to where it's going to be very hard for this guy to do anything. Bro's almost frozen again. Let's go back in, right? I mean, shit, like this shit is permanent. I do want to see him activate Nemu though, so let's get Nemu out. All right, come on. Come on. I know you can do it. So I just want to kind of show how much time Nemu wastes. There we go. So now that Nemu's here, if you don't like, you know, if you can't freeze, then Nemu's just going to be here. I mean, she came at about, what, 145? I don't know. I didn't see. But, like, you know, she's spending a lot of time in here, right? Even just 10 seconds, like, it is a lot of time. And that's kind of the main thing I do want to show, is that of how much time you might end up spending fighting Nemu. Usually you're supposed to just not touch her and then she's going to leave. Mayuri's going to be like, oh, you're worthless. And then afterwards she'll leave, right? But, you know, like that took almost 30 seconds, right? Maybe it could have been 20, 25, but still, like, it does take a lot of time. So now I want to show like a proper one in the final Mayuri boss fight. All right, here we go. So we're going back in. We're going to freeze, go Toshiro, go, I guess, Momo. Well, I guess we went Rukia. That's fine. So here we go. Momo, 1, 2, go back into Toshiro, activate Tensio Jiren. And the goal is just to keep him frozen as long as possible. I just hope Momo doesn't, you know, come out. So let's go into this. Let's go back in with that. Go with Momo's ult. Go into Toshiro. Freeze. Then afterwards, Tensio Jiren should refreeze if anything. Okay. Bam. Okay. I think after the 30-second mark is when this shit could start getting a bit dangerous. Okay. Let's freeze with Rukia. Since we can't go right away, we're going to go on Momo. Okay, now we go with Toshiro. We should be close to the battlefield skill, I think. So, yeah, there we go. That's another 4 seconds. Okay. So, bam. Oh, we could just ult. Yeah, we could just ult. Do we kill? Yeah, so there we go. That is pretty much how you skip Nemu. You have to freeze, 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 freeze. So that's kind of what I'm saying, right? Like Rukia is going to basically make it that like you're going to be perma-freezing. And then if you don't have Rukia and you have Aizen, the blue team is just better than the red team, right? If we consider Aizen being stronger than Byakuya. So it's like right now you have freeze, which is going to make it pretty equal to slash. And then with Aizen, you're just going to be doing so much damage that it won't matter. So let's finish this off. Let's, oh no, wait, we don't have the thingy. Okay, let's all, just so I don't get hit. All right, there we go. And even this, right, you're gonna be freezing a lot, which is so fucking fun. I don't know, I feel like for me, like just the amount of times that you're freezing really just makes it kind of wild, to be honest. Okay, well, that was a bit awkward, I'm not gonna lie. Probably should have done one, damn. Okay, so let's go back in. Another freeze. Good shit, Rukia. Go into this. We're looking good. Almost like 20k per tick. Nice. Frozen again. Okay. Counter. Go for... Oh, no. No, that was so wasted. Hello? Bro, ain't no way. Okay. Nah, bro. Toshiro's trolling. Okay, let's go into this. We're gonna ult after. Nice, good freeze. Freeze again. It's just so good. It's so good. Like, it does help to not take damage, and we could just ult and kill. Yeah, there we go. I probably should have went into the ult before. It's fine, though. Here we go. Bam! There we go. So, yeah, you're able to get your ult very quick, which does help. Easy 3 mil there. Bye-bye. Hello? Tap? Hello? Hello? What was that? Is it because of the freeze that it wasted a couple seconds? That's crazy. That's so stupid that it wasted like a bit of time at the end. I don't think this was quicker. Nah, I don't. I think it was like barely slower though. So now that it's all said and done, right? We both know that Bankai Ichigo and Toshiro are amazing. I think people like maybe undervalue his freeze too much, and you know, that's fine, but I think that's only happening because people aren't really doing like Frenzy Feast and things like that. But long term, there's going to be a lot of value from freeze points that's going to be hard to get rid of, and I definitely think that we could all agree with Aizen, this guy's going to be getting a lot better. Just in general, he's going to have extra permanent damage increases from the battlefield skill and all that, so I can't wait for Aizen. But we have two GOATs in the game. Both units are really, really good. And it is unfortunate if you don't have his core snap. I completely get that, right? I would definitely say Toshiro's core snap is much more needed than Ichigo's. I mean, I've seen a lot of people actually run the Uryu Ichigo one instead of Ichigo's. And the thing is, you don't really have many replacements for Toshiro on that same level that Ichigo does. So that is just an unfortunate part of the core snap problem with this game right now. But I just wanted to make this video to kind of touch base and kind of say Toshiro is still that guy. And so is Ichigo. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye-bye.